Building your pipeline, prospecting skills from trainthesalestrainer.com.
Hi, and welcome to Building Your Pipeline. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to get a better understanding of how to develop your pipeline. You'll learn a script and be able to deliver a first-class cold call. You'll be able to write effective emails choosing from 3 templates, and you'll be able to connect via LinkedIn. Now, to start, I want you to look on your company's website, ask your sales manager, or if you know already, what value does your company offer? Now, I want you to write down 3 to 5 values that your company offers. Next, look for testimonials. Who your company has worked with, what were their pains, and how did they fix them? And what were those benefits to the company? I want you to write down 3 examples of that. These will help you when we start designing your pitch and your emails.
Now, think for a moment. What is a sales pipeline? A sales pipeline is a visual snapshot of where prospects are in the sales process. Sales pipelines show you how many deals salespeople are expected to close in a given week, month, or year, and how close the rep is to reaching their sales quota. Basically, a sales pipeline is every communication you've had with the customer, whether inbound or outbound, and where you are in that process. Think for a moment. How do you build a sales pipeline? The 4 main methods of filling your pipeline are contacting people on LinkedIn, by cold calling them, or by emailing them, and sometimes by inbound leads. So let's look at the first stage of building our pipeline. Some people call this building a book of business. To start, we need to do the upfront research. Okay, now think for a moment. What do you need to know about a prospect before you contact them?
Before you contact a customer, you must do the upfront research. Here are a few things you'll need prior to your first outreach to any customer. There are basic qualifiers: name, title, company, their contact info, phone, email, LinkedIn profile. Something you found on their LinkedIn profile, a post, an article, maybe a recent job change, a promotion, or a past company. So it's a reason someone in their role might be interested in what your company does. Something you see about them on the internet or their website that you can attach your problem to. Their industry, maybe relevant articles and stats, to share the value that leaders in their space have received when working with your company. Look at company news. What's been happening? Is there new funding, hiring, acquisitions, to the problems or visionary goals that you can help them with?
LinkedIn is a social networking platform designed for professionals and businesses. It allows individuals and organizations to create a professional profile that showcases their education, work experience, skills, and interests. Users can connect with colleagues, industry peers, and potential clients or customers through the platform, as well as participate in industry groups and discussions. LinkedIn is often used by job seekers to search for and apply for job openings, and by recruiters and hiring managers to identify and reach out to potential candidates. The platform also offers various tools for businesses to promote their brand and products, including sponsored content and job postings. For us, LinkedIn is about finding our potential ideal customer. Once you're given a lead, that's their name and company, then head over to LinkedIn and send them a LinkedIn invitation to connect so you can better understand them and what they do. The best method of connecting I have found is to check the groups they're in and join them. Once you've joined a couple of their groups, they may feel you're like-minded and they're more open to connect. This is one of the invitations I send. Hi, I hope you're well. I saw that we're both members of Group 1 and Group 2. It would be great to connect with a like-minded professional. If they are high-level executives or you're struggling to connect, you could try building a base underneath them. Try connecting with other sales team members or people who report directly to your target. Sales reps like to build their presence on LinkedIn and are more likely to connect. Once you've connected with several of your target's fellow workers, send this invite. I noticed we had some connections in common, so I thought I'd link up, just in case it might be useful at some point. Remember to keep your invitations short and sweet. Here's another example of a LinkedIn invitation. Chris, reading your careers page and found a few things interesting on your SDR job posting. Won't lie, I am prospecting you, but sending an email to expand. Wish me luck getting a reply. Here, there's a bit of humour as well. Cold calling is a marketing and sales technique where a sales representative or a company representative makes an unsolicited call, aka a call out of the blue, to a potential customer who has not expressed any interest in the product or service being offered. The purpose of the call is to introduce the product or service and try to convince the potential customer to make a purchase or set up a meeting to discuss the product or service further. Cold calling is typically used by businesses to generate leads, reach out to potential customers to try and increase sales. It can be done via the phone, email, or even in person in visits. While it can be an effective way to generate new business, it can also be considered intrusive and annoying by some people.
Now, if I could offer one piece of advice when cold calling, it would be yourself, everyone else is taken. It's fair to say we're all different. Some of us like a more softer approach in life. Some of us are more direct in life. Now, when it comes to prospecting, you must be yourself. Think, how do you connect with people best? What's your personality in action? The more you connect with your personality, the more people will connect with you. Prospects will be able to feel your energy. So stop trying to be someone you're not. It's not a game. You don't need to be for everybody. You just need to be right somebody for someone. Use your style, your creativity, your humor. Not one of the infants who told you or your sales manager that you must be like this. Remember, be yourself and find your authenticity. Now I'm going to take you through two types of approach, the soft approach and the direct approach. Think which one suits you best and write down the script as you go along.
The soft approach is a cold calling structure for sales reps who like to build rapport by introducing themselves, their company, showing empathy, being polite, and telling the customer what's going to happen in the call. The soft approach has 6 stages: the opening line, an empathy statement, an upfront contract, a 30-second commercial, giving reason for the call, and close to the next stage, discovery call. This is the most common opening line and really suits someone who's really honest and upfront. Some sales reps feel it's natural to get on the phone and ask someone how they are. Others feel it sounds unnatural and too much like a sales call. The opening line should be natural without any sentence fillers. Hi, my name's Chris. I'm calling from ABC. How are you today? Okay, it's your turn now. Record this opening on your phone so you can hear yourself prospecting. Look for tone. Do you use sentence fillers? More importantly at this stage, does the message suit your personality? My second example is, hi, this is Chris calling from ABC. How have you been? So the last piece is, how have you been? Typically when I hear someone say, how are you? I think of a cold caller. When I hear, how have you been? It triggers, hopefully in my prospect's mind, that there's some kind of pre-existing relationship, but I don't know the details of what this relationship is. So when the prospect picked up the phone, they're typically in a kind of fight or flight mode. Should I stay or should I go? Someone's walking up to them and they're trying to figure out in the first 7 seconds, are you worth my time? And what are the details of a reason for the call? Okay, it's your turn. Record this opening line on your phone so you can hear yourself prospecting. Hi, this is calling from, how have you been? Look for tone. Do you use sentence fillers? More importantly at this stage, does the message suit your personality? The second stage is the empathy statement. Empathy statements can do much in making customers feel that they are understood, respected, and their feelings are validated. They're a good way to build an understanding with the customer. 2 great examples of empathy statements are, I know I'm calling you out of the blue, or I understand that you were not expecting the call. So let's put them together with the opening line. Hi, this is Chris calling from ABC. How are you today? Yeah, I'm good. Look, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. Or, hi, this is Chris calling from ABC. How have you been? Yeah, good. I understand that you're not expecting this call. Okay, it's your turn. Which opening line and empathy statement do you prefer? Look for tone. Do not use sentence fillers. More importantly at this stage, does this message suit your personality?
The purpose of the cold call is to invite the prospect to a discovery call. To do this, you need to give the prospect the feeling of being understood and in control of the call. We do this by showing empathy with the prospect and then telling them what the intentions are for the call. We ask for permission to carry on. We give them what is known as an upfront contract. Now, an upfront contract is an agreement on how the conversation will continue. You have a maximum of 2 lines to get your message across. This includes time. Remember, our prospects are very busy. They weren't expecting your call, but they've become accustomed to sales calls. Long sales calls, well, they just don't have time for that without permission. So set a time for the conversation. Some say 30 seconds or a short period of time. Next, the agenda. Tell the prospect what you want to achieve in these 30 seconds. What's the outcome? Tell the prospect that they'll have full control of what happens next. If they want to put the phone down, it's up to them. Consent. Ask for their permission to carry on.
2 great examples of upfront contracts are: I was hoping I could take a quick moment to explain why I was keen to speak to you this morning. Or, can you give me the next 27 seconds to give a quick introduction to what ABC is and why I thought we'd be a good fit for you and your team at XYZ? If it's not of interest after this, we can part ways. Does that sound fair? Or for a more tongue-in-cheek upfront contract: you're probably going to hate me because this is a sales call. Would you like to hang up or roll the dice? Okay, let's put them together. Hi, this is Chris calling from ABC. How are you today? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I know I'm calling you out of the blue, but can you give me the next 27 seconds to give a quick introduction to what ABC is and why I thought we'd be a good fit for you and your team at XYZ? If it's not of interest after this, we could part ways. Does that sound fair? Okay, it's your turn. Record 3 stages on your phone so you can hear yourself prospecting. What 3 stages do you prefer? Look for tone. Do you use sentence fillers? More importantly at this stage, does the message suit your personality?
Now it's time to get out those 3 values about your company that I asked you to find earlier. The purpose of a 30-second commercial, also known as a value statement, is to create attention and interest, to drive the call to the next stage and help prevent discovery call cancellations. A 30-second commercial value proposition is a statement that describes the unique benefits that your product, service, or brand offers to your target customers. It communicates the value that a customer can expect to receive from your business or product and how it differentiates it from its competitors. A good value proposition should be clear, concise, and easy to understand. It should highlight the specific benefits that the customers will receive, such as cost savings, increased efficiency, or improved quality. It should also address the needs and desires of the target market and explain why the business or product is the best choice to meet those needs. Ultimately, a strong value proposition can help a business differentiate itself from its competition and attract and retain customers by delivering a unique and compelling value that meets their needs and wants.
I will walk you through a 3-part framework that you can use to help you elegantly and clearly explain what you do, so that you stack the odds in your favour for piquing your prospects' curiosity so they want to learn more. The 3-part structure is: we start with a problem, and then with X you do Y, and Z happens, and then you throw back the hot potato. Generally speaking, does that sound interesting? Now let's look at some examples. Part 1 is all about articulating the problem with the current way of doing something. Sales is all about the contrast, like an infomercial, the before version compared to the after version. But we can't start with the after version, because solutions have no value unless somebody can relate to the problem. So part 1, here's an example of the problem. The problem with analysing large amounts of data on a number of different platforms where you have to pull that data together, clean it, then build those reports, is there's a lot of tedious processes where error can slip in and show up on reports. Okay, part 2. This is what it sounds like. See the structure there? With X you do Y and Z happened. Z is the desired outcome, which equals better decisions faster. So, with X, ABC, Y, lets businesses easily connect all their data into a single source of truth, quickly visualize marketing performance in real time, and reveal insights. Z, to make better decisions faster. And then part 3. Generally speaking, does that sound interesting? Let's look at another example. Uber or Grab. Same structure. Start with a problem. Do you know how frustrating it is to get a cab during rush hour or when it's raining or snowing? The problem. Do you know how frustrating it is to get a cab during rush hour or when it's raining or snowing? And then with X, you do Y and Z happens. All you do with X Ubers, Y is press a button and a Mercedes takes you where you want to go without you having to take out your wallet. Z, so that you're on time every time. Part 3. Generally speaking, does that sound interesting? So let's put it all together. Hey, do you know how frustrating it is to get a cab during rush hour or when it's raining or snowing? All you do with Ubers is press a button and a Mercedes takes you where you want to go without you having to take out your wallet, so that you're on time every time. Generally speaking, does that sound interesting? The direct approach. The direct approach is a cold call structure that misses out the pleasantries. It has 6 stages and it's designed for the sales rep who, let's say, has a no fluff approach. The 6 stages are the opening line, the welcome curve, a request for help, a third-party pitch or a 30-second commercial, a reason for the call, and close to discovery call. Earlier, I asked you to note 3 testimonials at your company of who your companies work with, what were their pains and how you fixed them, and what were the benefits to the customer. You're going to need these now. The direct approach sounds like 4 levels of a video game. We're going to use a very calm voice. So level 1, the opening line, avoiding saying hello, hi, welcome, etc. Hey John, my name's Chris. Level 2, saying what the customer is thinking. This is called labeling the negatives. We've never spoken before, and I know you weren't expecting my call. Level 3, a request for help. I was hoping you could help me out for a brief moment. Level 4, asking a question. Do you have a spare 2 minutes? So let's put this all together. Hey Pete, my name's Chris. We've never spoken and I know you weren't expecting my call, but I was hoping you could help me for a brief moment. Do you have a spare couple of minutes? Now this can be shortened. Hi, this is Chris from ABC. I've got a quick question for you. This takes a little more of a relaxed approach. A lot of people are more receptive to this approach because it's short and simple and it's easier to remember. And it's aimed at IT professionals whose job is generally to help people. Okay, it's your turn. Record these opening lines on your phone so you can hear yourself prospecting. Look for your tone, to use sentence fillers. More importantly at this stage, does the message suit your personality? Let's look at that one more time. Opening line plus welcome swerve plus request for help. Hey John, my name's Chris. We've never spoken and I know you weren't expecting my call, but I was hoping you could help me out for a brief moment. Do you have a spare couple of minutes? The next stage of the direct approach is the third-party pitch or 30-second commercial. A third-party pitch is when we use companies we've worked for or work now with to highlight the value we can bring. It's a 3-part pitch. It's who we fixed, which will be companies similar to them, the problems they had, which we fixed, how we fixed them, and generally speaking, does that sound interesting? Part 1 is who we fixed. It's very simple. We work with A, B, and C. Write down now, who have you worked with? A, B, and C. Part 2, the problem. Who were frustrated with having to manually fetch large amounts of data from a number of different platforms. They had to pull that data together, clean it, and build reports. There were lots of tedious processes where error could slip in, and this often showed up on reports. What problems did your customers face? Part 3, how we fixed them. The ABC platform helped them to speed up campaign data reporting by AI automation, which reduced wasted time by 75% with a 100% accuracy rate. And finally, throw back the hot potato. Generally speaking, does that sound interesting? So write down now how you managed to fix the company's problems. Let's put that together now. We work with A, B, and C, who are frustrated with having to manually fetch large amounts of data from a number of different platforms. They had to pull that data together, clean it, and then build reports. There were lots of tedious processes where error could slip in, and this often showed up on reports. The ABC platform helped them speed up campaign data reporting by AI automation, which reduced wasted time by 75% with a 100% accuracy rate. Generally speaking, does that sound interesting to you? Now it's your turn. Write down your third-party pitch, record and practice. Do you prefer the 30-second commercial or the third-party pitch?
Another way you can deliver your value is with the alternative pitch. It's a three-part pitch. Like the alternative close, you have a choice. Which one resonates with you? So part one, the first problem. Second, an alternative problem they could be having. And third, curious, which of these two statements resonates most with you?
The alternative pitch. Problem 1. Typically, I speak with marketing leaders who are frustrated with having to manually fetch their data from multiple different sources. Problem 2. Others share that because they use multiple sources, they end up stressed because the data is all over the place, and as a result, they're spending too much time on time-consuming manual tasks. Part 3. Throw the potato back. Curious, which of these two statements resonates most with you? So if you put all that together, typically I speak with marketing leaders who are frustrated with having to manually fetch their data from multiple different sources. Others share that because they use multiple sources, they end up stressed because their data is all over the place. And as a result, they're spending too much time on time-consuming manual tasks. Curious, which of these two statements resonates most with you? Now, can you find 2 pain points a customer might have that you can fix? Write these down and prepare your own alternative pitch. Next, with both the soft and direct approach, we link the value proposition, the 30-second commercial, the alternative, or the third-party pitch to the close. And we do this by using the reason for the call. And it sounds something like this. Okay, I know I've taken a bit of time out of your day. The reason for the call is to set up a 30-minute Teams meeting with our team to learn more about you and your organization and to provide a high-level overview about our services and to see what value we might be able to provide you. You would carry this on by closing, but that's in another lesson. Write down on a notepad or on Microsoft Words your pitch. Are you soft or direct? What is your personality? What is going to suit you, the soft or the direct approach? And then practice, practice, practice. Use your phone to record. Warm leads are also known as inbound leads. They are when the customer contacts your company via marketing, maybe a conference, maybe they've read a leaflet, maybe they've seen you on the internet and they filled in a form, but they contact you first. When we contact inbound leads, there are 2 important considerations: how we got the lead and how old the lead is. The inbound lead approach is a structured 6-part script. The stages are introduction, acknowledge interest, reason for the call, needs discovery, 30-second commercial, close to discovery. We start with an introduction. Hi, my name's Chris. I'm calling from ABC. How are you today? And then we acknowledge their interest. I can see that you've recently expressed some interest into ABC, so I wanted to give you a quick call. The next part is the reason for the call. The reason for the call is to get a quick understanding of why you reached out to A, B, and C, to better understand your XYZ solution and give you a 30-second overview of ABC. Can I just ask, what motivated you to reach out to us at ABC? Such a great word, what motivated you? Not why, but what motivated you. The next stage of the inbound process would be needs discovery, and that's covered in another lesson called questioning skills. Building your pipeline, reaching out through email. Here I'll teach you 3 email templates you can use when reaching out to customers for the first time.
When we structure an email, one of the most important parts are the subject line. It's the subject line that gets the email read. Now, a subject line should be relevant and it should have a key word. Here's some ideas. Want to scale up? Want a fresh view on? A painless way of doing? The time bomb. Bang. Jess, this might be hurting your... Do you have any challenges? Just growth. Are you irritated by your current process? Subject lines should be intriguing. They should pique curiosity without giving away too much information. They should be relevant. They should be focused on making your prospect's life better. They should create a knowledge gap. People become curious when they think you know something they don't. Should be personalized. You could use the prospect's first name. They should be brash and controversial, subject lines that challenge the current way of getting noticed. Things like growth, Marmite. Here's the first template I use. The subject line is the relevant bit and a key word. Greeting, hey, not hello, hi, it's always hey. Sentence 1, mention the relevant bit. Sentence 2, lookalike customer uses us to achieve common metrics by percentage or pound. And call to action. When's a good time to call? Thanks, CJ. My initials, not my name. This makes the email look informal. So here's a template you can use using a third-party example. The subject line is time. Note it's a small t. It's a pattern interrupt. Not a professional looking, like someone would send to a friend. Hey, John, curious if you're open to chat regarding... Write in what you want to talk about. Now, a company you've worked with transformed what they were doing and reduced whatever they were doing with us by percentage or pound. If it makes sense, should we set up some time to chat? CJ. So this is what it sounds like. Subject line, time. Hey Daniel, I have a product that's very relevant to your work. Do you mind if I tell you a bit about it? We helped Acme Beta and Zeta drive 46% increase in revenue via real-time algorithmic compression on an AT basis versus ALC. When's a good time to talk? CJ. Structure of an email, template 2. The name of this template is called the trigger template. Subject line, what you noticed. Sentence 1. You need to find something about the company that ladders back to something you might be able to help. That could be a merger or an acquisition or a news article or something you find on the website. Could even be a quote, something you see in their blog. Sentence 2. The next thing you want to do in the template is you're going to articulate how you might be able to help as it relates to what you found. Sentence 3. Then you're going to provide some social proof. This could be some work you've done for similar companies or results that you've achieved, but have a link to that proof. Then you're going to have a very low friction call to action, followed by acknowledgement in the PS. PS, what you're doing is really great, and expand on what you've noticed they're doing really great. So the subject line is your article on LinkedIn. This type of subject line would typically get a 65 to 70% open rate because it's specifically referencing something your target audience is super intrigued and interested about. In fact, they probably wrote it. Next paragraph, hey, and their name. Now go on to, I recently read your article on LinkedIn where you spoke about. Now that's the trigger. What did they speak about? That's the thing you noticed. A very tight sentence closely aligned to what you read, whatever it is you observed, whether that's on LinkedIn, their website, or article. Next, we're going to relate it back to how we might be able to help in the next paragraph. My name is Chris, and although we've never met, that's exactly the type of thing we help companies like you that sell X, Y, and Z products do all the time. Next paragraph is social proof.
You can see a demo that we created for X, Y, and Z here. So again, this is some work you've done for others in their space. This can always be ways in which you've improved some metric or some performance that you've achieved. Finally, the call to action. Is this of interest? Very low friction call to action. Just requires maybe a yes or a no. And finally, the PS at the bottom, the acknowledgement. Guys, you're doing an amazing job on product X, Y, and Z. Here's the structure for email template 3. I call it the paint the picture. Sentence 1, loss aversion. Sentence 2, specific benefit. Sentence 3, paint a picture. Interest CTA. Is this of interest? Your contact details and an acknowledgement at the end. P.S. You guys are doing amazing on. Okay, now let's take a deeper dive into the paint the picture template and why it works. Firstly, loss aversion. This powerful copywriting technique leverages psychology. Human beings are twice as likely to take action to prevent a loss as they are to obtain a benefit. Is personal pain point stopping your team from reaching your goals? Then use these words that sell and then paint a picture. Words like you, your, and imagine boost your win rates. Imagine being able to, what you can help them achieve, to improve what was holding them back. Specific benefit. Choose one ultra-specific message. It will make your outreach more effective. As I research their company, I see one big way where their company can boost your team's performance, how you can do it, and what you can achieve. Interest CTA. Asking for interest is 2 times more effective than asking for time in a cold outreach. So, is this of interest? To finish, let's look at the structure of a breakup email. Open break emails which are sort of self-depreciating with humour. Being disarmingly blunt about using a cadence to reach out can cut through the noise. So put the blame on yourself. Most breakup emails are passively aggressive, blame the prospect for not replying. This way you're positioned as you need to improve. Again, humanizing the outreach. Subject line, 16 steps later. 16 multi-channel steps later and I still couldn't get a reply from you. Did I miss the mark with my outreach? Or maybe my prospecting skills are just awful. Ha ha. Any feedback to help me improve is appreciated. Either way, I've enjoyed researching your company. Managing your pipeline. Basic pipeline management.
Here are some basic pipeline management tips. Remember to follow up. Never do nothing. Buyers today have more choice than ever before, and with it, they need more help to make the right decision and choose your company. 10 years ago, it took 3.68 sales calls to close a deal. Today, it can take more than 8 on complex sales. The best salespeople make sure they keep following up with leads in order to land the sale. Always monitor call metrics. Your sales pipeline is a living, breathing entity that changes all the time. So your company will have identified the metrics that will make you become successful in your role. Your call metrics look something like this. If you make 60 calls a day, you should have 6 meaningful conversations, which will lead to 3 scheduled discovery calls. 1 may complete, which could end up in the sale. Create daily activity goals. If you have a quota, you may think you already have a clear goal, but you need to go further. Do you know the numbers you have to hit each week to meet your quota? What about each day? What would happen if you made another 5 calls that day? Most importantly, do you know what tasks need to be done each day to stay on track? Drop dead leads. A lead is dead when they clearly state they're not interested, when they can't be contacted, or you've spoken to them multiple times and they can't get through to the next stage of the pipeline. Learn to identify these leads quickly so you can move on to the next stage of the sales opportunity to close a different deal, a bigger deal, without wasting any more time to breathe life into leads that simply won't buy from you. Listomania. The ultimate key to successful prospecting is the list. You must have a fresh, accurate list of prospects who fit your target persona and will be ready to buy your product or service right now if you could connect with them. No matter what shape the economy is in and what markets look like, you're always just one list away from the career you want, the success you want, the life you want. Build the list and embrace rejection when you start going after opportunities.
Building your pipeline, not really a summary. I've given you all the tools you need to reach out on LinkedIn, to make cold calls, and send emails to prospects. The next bit's up to you and how successful you want to become. Tailor your messaging and practice your cold call script.